Hello YouTubers, this is Cessnaace back again with another tagged video. This makes my 5th this week. I was just sucker tagged by Moomert1, he'll know what that means. It's been a little difficult for me to come up with 5 things that I haven't already mentioned, but I think I've managed to do it. As I've mentioned to those of you who have been subscribing to my channel or viewing my videos, as I've already mentioned before, back in 73, 74, we were living in Germany. I was attending Frankfurt American Junior High School, but what I may not have mentioned was that I was taking part in the Junior ROTC program, and something I know I haven't mentioned is that they took us up flying in a helicopter. I believe it was a Huey. At any rate, it did not have a door. It just had a rope. And when that thing banked, you knew it. Okay, number 2. Also aviation related. As many of you know, I took flying lessons back in the 80s. But what I think I have not mentioned in the past is when I was landing on one of my flights up there, I was landing at the field in Palatka, Florida, and I was landing behind a Ford Trimotor. If you don't know what a Ford Trimotor is, was, or looks like, I would suggest doing a search. I'm sure Wikipedia can help you out with that. Okay, third thing. My wife and I went to the Bahamas on our honeymoon, and one of the things we did was a submarine ride. So we had to go by bus from the ship to a boat. Then the boat took us out to the sub, and the sub took us down. Obviously, it was not like the old 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea attraction at Disney World. It was not on rails. It was a real submarine. And they take you down, they show you a shipwreck or two. The thing that sticks out in my mind was they took you right to an abyss that they said was a bottomless drop-off. They took you right to where all you could see was the drop-off. So a little nerve-wracking on that, but it was something that we can look back on and say, hey, we rode a submarine. Okay, the other 2 things, I might be cheating a little bit on these because I might have mentioned offhandedly these 2 things. The first VCR I bought was in the late 70s, an RCA VET 650. And RCA at the time was using RCA Select-O-Vision on both their VCRs, and in '81 when they launched the CED format, they also used it on their CED format. The original discs said RCA Select-O-Vision video discs and then CED. Anyway, I paid $1,500 smackaroos for that VCR. Mono sound, one video head, as opposed to 3 or 4. Oops. And it did have a full function wired remote, not infrared, wired. But it was cool. It had variable slow motion, forward and reverse, and it had 2 screw adjustments on the side that would allow you to stabilize horizontal and vertical so that you could get a rock steady freeze frame, even though it only had the one head, one video head, and one audio head, because it was mono. Okay, I say one head, it probably had a record erase head also, but one playback head for the video. Okay, the other thing, my first Laserdisc player. Now, I've mentioned in the past that I did It was the mid-'80s, I believe, when I got my first Laserdisc player, and I might have mentioned that I paid $450 for it, used, but I don't think I've mentioned the model. It was a NAD 5900, which was a, Panasonic, Pioneer clone. In fact, it was made by Pioneer, but it looked just like one of the models that Pioneer had at the time, and I don't remember which one it was, but it looked just like it. The thing was built like a tank, and it was heavy, but it had a big dent in the top, and the store that sold it to me admitted that it had been dropped, but they offered a warranty on it, and I never had any problems with it while it was still in warranty. Several years later, the laser carriage assembly went out on it, which cost me $300, parts and labor to replace. And then when that laser assembly went out, started to go out, made a lot of noise, but it still worked, I gave the player away. And then I've got the two I've got now. Anyway, I think that about covers it, and I do believe 5 tagged videos within 1 week is sufficient. Until next time, stay awesome.